Hi, Phil Aston here from Now Spinning Magazine with another tribute video, and this time it's for Kris Kristofferson. This video is dedicated to all Kris Kristofferson's family, friends and fans around the world. But the passing of this legendary singer-songwriter also resonates very deeply with my own family and my own upbringing. I get my love of music from my mum. My dad was really more into gadgets and tech, cameras, hi-fi, and I get my love of stuff like that from him, really. But my mum always loved music. She loved Johnny Cash, she loved country and western, Bob Dylan. Eventually she was liking people like Bruce Springsteen and stuff, but the one artist that she really loved above all others was Kris Kristofferson. She had so many of his albums. She loved the fact that he was a bit of a kind of a wild card in the country western deck. She liked Willie Nelson and stuff like that, but he was always Kris Kristofferson, and every time he came to the UK, she went to see him. I'm not quite sure if my dad really liked him that much, but my mum absolutely loved all of his music. And when he formed that supergroup, the Highwaymen, she loved them as well. She went to see them. She went to see him so many times, and she just loved everything about him. I remember buying albums when I first got my first job. I bought things like Easter Island and To the Bone with my first kind of pay packets because they're albums that she didn't know. But I first discovered him and kind of made me feel that I was getting really cool with my mom was when I bought this first great Festivals of the 70s album, because he was on it. There he was, Kris Kristofferson under Miles Davis. And the fact that I bought something with Jimi Hendrix on it that also had Kris Kristofferson on it meant that I was able to say to my mum, look, Kris Kristofferson is like, he's a bit of a rock and roller as well. My mum already knew that, really. And my two sons, Dan and Lee, are also singer-songwriters and love music. And also, Kris Kristofferson was the glue that, as much as I started to like Kris Kristofferson's music, it was actually my eldest son Dan who absolutely loved the music. You can see a picture of my mum here with Dan and Lee. And Dan went to see, when my mum sadly passed away in 2019, which, gosh, I didn't realise it was that long ago now, Dan was able to go and see Kris Kristofferson in Manchester. I think he was 83 at the time. And as what Dan said, he's put this on the Facebook group a long time ago when he actually went. And he said it was amazing. And he said, I got to get a signed print from Kris Kristofferson, which is coming up on the screen now. And he said that the music means such a special gig for me because it obviously reminded him of his grandma. And one of Dan's favourite albums is actually from 1971, which is The Silver-Tongued Devil and I. Every bit as good as his debut, and for some people even better, which is this one. This album here. The lyrics are genius, says Dan. True poet. The album contains some of my favourite Kris Kristofferson songs, such as Loving Her Was Easier Than Anything I'll Ever Do Again, and the title track, and The Pilgrim, and Chapter 33. But there's another connection as well to us Astons here, which includes obviously my wife, is that when my mom passed away at her funeral, we were trying to think of a way of doing a tribute musically as a family, and we actually chose one of the songs we chose was actually Desperados, which was Waiting for a Train. Desperados Waiting for a Train by the Highwaymen, which you can probably hear very gently underneath this track. And this features my wife on violin, Dan and Lee on guitar, and me on lead guitar towards the end. There is so much to Kris's music that means a lot. But for me personally, it just reminds me of my mum more than anything. So I'm going to dip into this box, which is the complete Columbia years, which is got tons of stuff on it. But anyway, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for all of your support. And today, just make the most of each moment, really. Take care, all of you. Remember, music is the healer and the doctor. Keep spinning those discs, and I'll talk to you all very, very soon.
An old school man of the world, he let me drive his car when he was too drunk to. He'd wink and give me money for the girls, and our lives were like some old western movie, like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train. From the day that I could walk, he took me with him to a bar called the Green Frog Cafe. It was old men with beer guts and dominoes, lying about their lives as they played. I was a kid, called me sidekick, like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train. One day I looked up and he was pushing 80, and there were brown tobacco stains all down his chin. To me he's been one of the heroes of this country. So tell me, what's he doing dressed up like them old men, drinking beer and playing Moon and 42, like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train. The day before he died, I went to see him. I was grown and he was almost gone. We just closed our eyes and dreamed us up a kitchen, and sang another verse of that old song. Like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train, like desperados waiting for a train.